I just read the third amended initial disclosures, and I'm pretty sure I have a headache. We're talking about the Lively versus Wayfarer unsealed third amended initial disclosures that appeared on the docket. Initial disclosures are governed by Rule 26 of the Federal Rules of Civil Procedure, and essentially you can think of the purpose of them to lay out for the parties what is going on in this case. So you're required to provide a list of everyone that you think will have discoverable information. You have to provide a computation of the types of damages that you foresee in this case. You have to list out the type of discovery that you foresee will come in this case. And so that's why they're called initial disclosures. They're things that are initially disclosed before the parties engage in like real heavy discovery. So this would have been served a while ago, and they get amended from time to time as discovery continues. And it looks like their Lively's amended or initial disclosures were amended a few times. These disclosures typically don't get filed with the court, they're served between the parties. But in this case, they were attached to probably a discovery motion. I can't even remember now what it was attached to. And they were deemed unsealed, and that's why we're seeing them. So the earlier version of this disclosure had listed Taylor Swift, and I made a video about this a few days ago. And this latest version has a whole list of people from everywhere. It includes all the Livelies, but noticed that it's missing Lori Lively. What's the story there? Another interesting one, Scooter Braun. That may have been there before, I just never really paid attention to it. Curious. What's that about? Didn't he have beef with Taylor Swift? And then of all of the content creators whose information they sought, remember there was like 107, we have 3. One of which, no offense, Whitney, what's your name? Franzway? I don't know you. I've never seen you. I don't even know if you're on TikTok or you're on another platform. But like, who even is that? And where are all the other witnesses, all the other content creators that were apparently, retaliating through Wayfarer? This document was served on September 30th. So a lot of discovery happened by September 30th. And one would think that if they had found evidence of people who were working on behalf of Wayfarer, it would be a much longer list than that. But my headache comes from this. So like I mentioned at the top, Rule 26 requires a computation of each category of damages that a plaintiff seeks. And so here we have Lively saying that she suffered from economic damages, from non-economic damages, from punitive damages, and also attorney's fees and costs, for a grand total of $650 million. That's my math. Somebody can check me on that. But I estimated about 50 million for attorney's fees. So let's, that would probably put it at what, 700 million then total? 700 million. Sorry for the jump scare, y'all. But that damages calculation was a jump scare for me. I mean, she would have to find an expert that would testify that her reputational damage is in the amount of $34 million. I don't know how they are going to establish that. I don't know how they're going to establish any of it, because she hasn't lost work. She's been in movies. She made more money on this movie than she's made on previous movies. She still has all of her products. People are still buying them. So I'm very curious. I'm going to be very curious to see at trial how they prove this amount of damages. And then guess who gets to decide how much she gets? A jury. Can you imagine if you're let's not even say minimum wage. You are a blue-collar worker that is getting yanked out to be sitting on this trial, and a lawyer comes and tells you, you need to award this powerful Hollywood couple hundreds of millions of dollars because there was some bad press following the promotion of a movie that she was in. No, ma'am. That is not gonna happen.